Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Hopefully you guys are all having an awesome holiday so far. Since so many of you requested a video for like all of my favorite shows from this year, this video is going to be my top 10 TV shows from 2014. There are a whole lot of shows that I watch that I don't do videos for, but for the most part, the stuff you find on my channel are all of my favorite things. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to name my top 10 shows, and then for each of them, I'll just say my favorite episode of the year. And I'll have some announcements at the end of the video, just because there's some special stuff coming next week, because it really is like the last week of the year. So let's do the thing, and just general spoiler warning for all the shows that I do videos for. So starting with number 10, Gotham. Amongst the pantheon of new comic book shows, there's a lot of them. Gotham, above all the rest, had the highest chances of sucking. It didn't have Batman, it didn't have costumes, and its central character was a little kid, or one of its central characters. That's like the Wesley Crusher syndrome. I'm not a huge fan of little kids on TV shows that are supposed to be serious. What made me start to enjoy it though was just how much it embraced the campy aspects of the Batman universe. And when I say campy, I mean it goes to this really self-aware, silly place that the animated series and the Tim Burton films went to. Visually, there's a lot of Chris Nolan in there too, but my eyes are always drawn to the Tim Burton type scenes, like when it gets a little crazier. Look at this scene between Edward Nygma and this file clerk here that he'd like to solve some bedroom riddles with. Forget the sexual comedy, just look at how they frame the shot and the set design. Moments like this are really what I love best about Gotham. Like if you want to explain Gotham to your friend, don't say it's Batman without Batman. That'd probably be like the worst way to sell something. Tell them it's Gotham Central. It's a police procedural set around Detective Gordon and the Gotham City PD. I know the big question is why didn't they just call him Gotham Central? It'd be way easier. The comic book was super popular, they had a lot of great stories. The answer is probably because of rights issues. I think a stricter adaptation of the comic book would have been a better show, but the stories and the characters in the comics go way beyond what Fox is allowed to do legally. Hands down, favorite episode of Gotham so far is episode 9, Harvey Dent. I feel like you could show that episode to your friends who are fans of Batman and they'd still enjoy it because of Harvey Dent. And Nicholas D'Agosto did a great job with that character. Number 9, South Park. One of the few that I totally love that I don't do videos for. But ever since the series went from 14 episodes down to 10 per season, I feel like the quality has gone way up. Live action shows take an entire week to shoot an episode, and then like another 2 months of editing, scoring, post-production. Animated shows can take up to 6 months to produce. South Park writes, animates, and finishes each episode in 6 days. My favorite episode of 2014 is Cock Magic. Although this year there were like 4 episodes, which I thought were way better than almost everything else on TV ever. I think the biggest reason for that is, one, they're good writers, they're topical, they're quick, and they're informed, and just freaking hilarious. You do not need to sell South Park to your friends. It's so good it sells itself. And they make it available to watch everywhere for free, which is a big problem with premium cable shows. Number 8, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I was already on board in season 1, and I'll totally admit to watching the show no matter how bad it gets. Like, I am on board for the ride. I'll still watch it just because it provides all the extra context for the larger workings of the Marvel movies. One of the reasons this season is so much better though is because they debuted brand new IP for the first time ever on screen. That just has me really excited for what they might be able to do in the future. Like if they can do Inhumans on TV now, what are they going to be able to do in a couple years? And I do think the show is going to survive. I think it'll get renewed for season 3. Really what keeps me emotionally connected to the show though is Coulson. It's his relationships with the other characters. He's the anchor of the show with good cause. I mean, he's the most experienced actor. He's the most connected to all the other characters in the movies too. I think just, from an actor perspective, he does the best job of selling the material, especially the weirder Marvel-verse comic booky stuff. And in real life, he is kind of like a spirit guide for all the younger actors who are pushing themselves. Chloe Bennett as Skye, for instance. I totally love what she's doing this season, but I want more of it. Like there's so many characters, you just can't spend a lot of time with her. Good news is, the back half of the season, totally going to focus on her with these new Inhuman powers, and this new group of people, the Inhumans. The Inhumans movie isn't coming out till after Avengers 3, so right now is the time to jump on board this ship. My favorite S.H.I.E.L.D. episode this year is episode 8, Things We Bury. It gives us this amazing montage with our big villain Whitehall, and it's super personal. You have the Ward brothers going all Cain and Abel, Whitehall destroying Skye's mother, and this great performance from Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter. And I will be doing videos for Peggy Carter, the weekly episode videos. That's going to start on Tuesday, January 6th. Number 7, The Walking Dead. The energy from the show mixes so well with the more pleasant emotions I get from the other stuff I watch. Like Arrow, for instance. Always makes me feel really happy and excited after episodes. But you can't live on sugar alone. So Walking Dead is the perfect way to balance my emotions. I always feel excited coming away from episodes, but it's like the type of excitement you feel after you get in a car crash, like you're having a really serious anxiety attack. Favorite episode of the year is easily the season 5 premiere. Carol wins everything, just drop the mic, walk away. Number 6, Doctor Who. Far and away my most beloved science fiction series. I did notice a lot of fallout in the fandom between the 50th anniversary special last year and the regular Series 8 episodes this year. Doctor Who always has this really strong core fandom that both loves and hates everything Stephen Moffat does, and will tell you exactly what they think in all caps in the YouTube comments. Series 8 was really polarizing like all the new episodes. That's part of the reason why I love it so much. Good television is television that it's worth talking about. And Doctor Who is not afraid to be ridiculous. Like, it vacillates between really dark, serious stories like Listen and really silly moments like Cousin It in the TARDIS with the little fingers sticking out. Seriously, that was ridiculous. I'm much more excited by new ideas than really amazing action or huge twists in the plot. So Female Master and Capaldi's Doctor made for a great series. There are so many things I could say about Doctor Who this year, but I am going to save some of those for the bonus videos I'm going to be doing next week. The Christmas special, called Last Christmas, is December 25th, for those that don't know. I mean, it's a Christmas special. I'll try to get at least a few Doctor Who videos up before that, so be sure to subscribe to get everything. My favorite episode of this year, not including the Christmas special, because we haven't seen it yet, is The Caretaker. It's self-contained, so you don't have to watch it without knowing a lot about Doctor Who, and it's very personal. Very good Danny Pink storyline. Number 5, Legend of Korra. So sad to see it end. If you never watched it, they just had the series finale and set off this same-sex relationship fire in the fandom. The show in general is really Western animation inspired by anime, which is funny because the term anime is based on the English term animation. So it's like Western culture influencing Eastern animation, influencing Western animation. I'd say this is probably the most well-balanced series in terms of female protagonists, female characters, adult themes with beautifully face-melting animation. Seriously, this is one of the most beautiful looking series of the year. Don't feel bad if you are totally crying about it being gone now. Favorite Korra episode this year was definitely Korra Alone, episode 3. It's such a fun, deep scan of where Korra is psychologically. It features Katara, and it's the first appearance of Toph in the new series. So many things to love about it. Number 4, Sherlock. I know it seems like it's been so long since it's been on, but it's one of the best examples of the genius baby that's born when you combine some of the best actors in the world with the best set design and the best writing. If you can't tell, I'm a huge Martin Freeman, Benedict Cumberbatch fan. There's a very good reason why they are the biggest actors on the planet right now, which is also why it's so hard for them to make new episodes. That brings up an interesting point, scarcity. I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much. Just because there's only 3 90-minute episodes, there's no filler, so you don't have like really shitty episodes mixed in with really amazing episodes. American television, by contrast, has like 20 plus episodes per season to fill, so the chances that everything is going to be amazing is 0. Like, there's no way every single episode is going to be amazing. My favorite episode of Sherlock this year was episode 1, Empty Hearse. It's just like the right balance of drama and comedy. Sometimes it swings the comedy a little bit more, sometimes it's a little more dramatic. Empty Hearse hit that sweet spot right in the middle. If you really wanted to get your friend into Sherlock, just first show them the Sherlock tag on Tumblr. That's just so much fun, just to watch people interact with that for the first time. Avoid the John Locke tag though. That's only for advanced fans that can handle like the cringeworthy fanfiction. And some of it really is really out there, so be careful. But then after they get the full blast of Tumblr in the face, just show them Series 1, Episode 1, Study in Pink. Side note, I will be doing a few bonus Sherlock videos in January. They're going to be filming the 2015 Christmas special, so I will include new info as we get pictures from the set. I'll be sure to include liberal spoiler warnings. Number 3, The Flash. Of all the new comic book shows, this has definitely been my favorite. The new ones, that is. The characters are the best, and the production crew has created the most emotionally compelling and interesting universe. Technically, it is a shared universe with Arrow, but The Flash is very different visually and tonally. There are a few of its bigger characters I still think need some work, like Iris and Eddie, but I think the back half of the season is going to spend some more time with them. Harrison Wells, far and away my favorite comic book TV villain of the year. Comic book TV villain. Right now, he is a better villain than Ra's al Ghul on Arrow, who in the comics is one of the biggest Batman villains of all time, so that says a lot for Tom Cavanaugh. I think the reason for that, though, is largely in the conception of the character and the way he's written. He's inside Team Flash, he's in every episode, and his motivations are very complex. Like, he's very evil, but he wants to protect the hero at all costs. I don't know if I can pick a single favorite episode so far, but episode 4, then the crossover, which is episode 8, and episode 9 are probably the best. And if you wanted to get your friend into The Flash, just start them with episode 1, or if they're like a really big comic book person, if they read comic books, they can handle the crossover episode. Just start them on that one. Number 2, Arrow. Because Arrow and The Flash are in this shared continuum, they share creative teams, they share a budget, both shows are pretty equal in terms of quality, but Arrow has just had more time to develop its core characters and build out the internal universe, so I connect with it emotionally a little bit more than The Flash. And I would argue that its lead, Stephen Amell, is both amazing on and off the camera. My own experience with the show is a little bit more meta, like a little bit different than the other stuff I watch, just because the actors and the network itself, like the CW network, have engaged with me personally. Stephen Amell was like the first big star to actually reach out to me on social media to tell me he liked my YouTube channel. It totally blew my mind. I mean, I'm just a fan of the show. I'm not like some huge, big media personality. Most actors don't even take the time to engage with their fans, but because the captain, as we so call him, is so connected to the fandom, to his fans, the other cast members have started to do the same thing. And I think that's why shows like Supernatural with Jensen and Jared survive a lot longer, just because they actually interact with the people watching their show, and they care about them. Favorite Arrow episode this year was definitely episode 9, the mid-season finale. It did the unthinkable. It had the balls to kill off its main character. Whether or not he's actually dead remains to be seen. Funny thing about that though is Stephen Amell is a big Game of Thrones fan, so you can think of this as like your Arrow Ned Stark moment. Maybe Ned Stark crossed with The Mountain versus the Viper. And my number 1 favorite TV show of 2014, easily Game of Thrones. I feel like nobody is surprised by this, but it goes without mentioning, the quality of the production and the constant one-upmanship of each episode make this the best genre show on TV right now. And when I say genre, I mean sci-fi, fantasy, horror, you get the idea. Remember how I said I really like Doctor Who because it's so different from other science fiction? It's the same thing with Game of Thrones and other fantasy shows. George R. R. Martin is really the person to thank for that. I mean, yes, they are changing things for season 5, but they're only changing things to make it more linear and to make it fit in 10 episodes a year. It's that same situation with South Park. 10 episodes means absolutely no time for filler episodes. I've rewatched the season so many times, I can't remember what my original favorite was from the year, but I would say episode 8 is probably my favorite right now. The Red Viper versus the Mountain, one of the best hours of television this year, period. If you did want to get someone into Game of Thrones, like your friend doesn't watch Game of Thrones already, just start them on season 1, episode 1. I feel like it'd be too confusing to try and start them whenever season 5 starts. And for those that are asking, season 5 is premiering April 5th. I've got a whole bunch of awesome videos planned for each of the episodes and some really cool giveaways. Seriously, season 5 is going to melt your face off. It's going to be awesome. So there were a whole bunch of shows that didn't make the list, like Orphan Black or Constantine. There's a lot of good stuff that I watched, but I mean, when you have to pick 10, you have to pick 10. I always love it when you guys leave me recommendations for new shows too. I know a lot of you want me to do videos for the 100, so feel free to keep leaving recommendations and suggestions in the comments. And a couple announcements for next week's videos. Because the Doctor Who Christmas special is happening next week on the 25th, I'm going to do a couple Doctor Who bonus videos starting next week. I'm going to try to get some Walking Dead and some other Game of Thrones in there too. But I will be doing like some favorite, some top 10 lists for the next couple of weeks. The next new show that's premiering is Agent Carter. That's going to be January 6th. So look forward to those videos. I mean, of all the new comic book shows that are coming, people are saying that that's going to be one of the best. So I am really curious about it. Right now, if you're on your mobile phone or on your tablet, there's new mobile links you can click on up here. It's the same as the links over here, but click here to learn about what's going to be coming on Game of Thrones Season 5, and click here to learn the same thing for Arrow, what's going to be happening in 2015. Thank you so much for watching, so let's all high five. I will see you guys tomorrow.